Hey guys, my name is Brian Patterson Jr. I study music at UNC Charlotte and I play the coolest instrument in the world. That's right, you've guessed it, the saxophone. I was invited to come speak at your diversity festival today, but unfortunately, I have a performance in a few minutes that I am unable to get out of, and I completely and sincerely do apologize about that. But I was afforded the opportunity to make a video of what I was going to say and play. So what we're going to do is talk about three different places today: Africa, America, and Europe. And we're also going to talk about three different genres of music. That's the blues, that's jazz, and that is classical music. So let's get started with my favorite genre of all time, which is the blues. And that's my favorite genre of music because you don't have to be the greatest, you don't have to be the most talented, you just play what you feel. And that is my favorite thing about music. So one thing about the blues, though, is that it originates from Africa. And if anybody's seen any pictures or videos from Africa, you know that it's a very prideful, colorful, just highly energetic place to be. It's dancing, there's music, there's partying. It's just a fun place to be. So I say all that to say the blues scale is based off of what is called the African diatonic scale. And I know that's a lot of syllables, but all that means is it's literally 7 notes of music that all of Africa's music revolves around, and that's what creates the blues. So what I'm going to do is play those notes on that scale for you right now. Simple, right? Exactly. So one of how the blues came to America, though, is when I want to say it was 1897. It was a place in New Orleans, Louisiana called Storyville. And Storyville was a place known for everybody would come down for entertainment. So you take a place like Concord Mills, right? Very large place. You take that mall, you take the Steak and Shake by the mall, you take the gas stations, the whole parking lot, everything. You take that whole place and you fill it with people, and it's just one giant party. And it's just people laughing, eating food, telling jokes, so on and so forth. And one of the people actually said, "Hey, this is such a cool party, but there's no music. We got to have music." So that Storyville, New Orleans of Louisiana, is predominantly African American. That's the population there. So what they did was they started to make music with that scale in mind, with the African diatonic scale and with that blues scale. So what I'm going to do is this is actually a song from Florida. It's passed on from saxophonist to saxophonist, and it's been passed on for years. So it's called Unrehearsed. So basically I'm going to take like a blues melody and I'm going to improvise on top of that. And improvise means just playing something off the top of your head. I don't know what I'm going to play, so excuse me if it sounds really, really bad. But yeah, I'm going to play the blues. So this is what the people in Storyville, the type of music that they used to dance to. So here goes nothing. So yeah, that's the blues. So they took that and everybody's having a party, everybody's having a good time, and one of the what happened with that is when you take the blues and you take this thing called classical music, you make this even cooler thing called jazz. And what before I get to jazz, I'll explain what the difference between jazz and classical music is. So, classical music is basically on the downbeat. So, it's basically when you hear music, you count like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. In jazz and the Africans that came to know classical music, they switched up the style a little bit. So what they instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, they went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So classical music is focuses more on the downbeat. Jazz and blues music kind of dance around the downbeat. So like I said, you have that 1 and 2 and, so it feels like it's on your toes almost. So yeah. So when you take the blues, the freedom of the blues, and you take the standards of classical music, you make this beautiful thing called jazz. So what I'll do is I'll take a classical version of one tune, and then I'll play the blues version of that tune, and then I'll play the jazz version of that tune. And the tune that I'll play, let's go with Mary Had a Little Lamb, okay? Here goes nothing. So you take a popular tune like that, and that's the classical version that I just played, and then you can kind of use the blues scale and mix that in there, so it sounds a little something like this. So that's the blues version of it. And when you take those together, that is when you take the standards of classical and the rules of classical and you take a little bit of freedom from the blues and you mesh it together, you get like sort of like the jazz version. Uh, Sorry. So yeah, you have that. You have the classical. You have the blues. You have the jazz. So yeah. So one thing that I wanted to say is that when you take different cultures and you know your culture, you know your history, where you come from, your family, and all that. When you and your family come from, you kind of it builds a cool little sense of pride about yourself, and then you can share your culture with other people, and when they know your culture, they can trade information with you about different cultures, and then you can blend those cultures to make even something even better. So you have the blues, which originates from Africa, and you have classical music that originates from Europe, and then you put those two things together, and then you get something so amazing. That's called jazz. So when you talk to your friends about your culture and their culture, you should always be listening, because you never know. You might be able to see the commonalities as well as the differences. So everybody has a rich diversity, everybody has a rich culture, everybody has a rich heritage. And just be proud of that, whatever you are. Like, I'm African American, so there's parts of Africa in me, and then there's parts of America in me, which is totally cool. And then I have some friends that are Filipino, and some friends that are Italian, some friends that are from Latin America, some friends who are from South America and Canada, and I had a couple friends from Africa. So just pay attention to all the people and appreciate all different cultures and diversities. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.